Question number 2. First equation, x minus y is equals to 8. Second equation, 3x minus 3y is equals to 16. So we need to draw the graph. So first of all we need to find 2 points, right? This method we already learned in exercise 3.1 how we can draw the graph, right? So first of all in first equation, that means x minus y is equals to 8, put x is equals to 0. So if we put x is equals to 0, then here 0 minus y is equals to 8. Now transfer this y to the right hand side and 8 to the left hand side. Right, here 0 is there, so we ignore it. So y becomes positive if we transfer to the left hand side, and 8 becomes negative if we transfer 8 to the left hand side. So our y is equals to minus 8. Right, if our x is equals to 0, then y is equals to minus 8. So this is our first point, 0 minus 8. Right, if we put x is equals to 0, we get y is equals to minus 8. Okay, then second point. Now this time put the y is equals to 0 and find out x. So here x as it is, in place of y 0, right hand side as it is. Sorry, in right hand side we have 8. Okay, so here x minus 0 is equals to 8. We can ignore the 0. So x is equals to 8. So if we put y is equals to 0, we get x is equals to 8. So our 2 points are ready for the first equation. It is 0 minus 8, 8, 0. Now second line, it is a 3x minus 3y is equals to 16. Right, 3x minus 3y is equals to 16. First of all put x is equals to 0. So here 3 into x, right, 3x. So here 3 into 0. Minus 3y as it is, 16 as it is. So 3 into 0, it's a 0. We can ignore it, right? So directly I am writing minus 3y is equals to 16. Now if we transfer this minus 3 to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator. One more thing, here minus 3, it is in multiplication process with the y. Okay, don't be confused here. That means if minus 3 we transfer to the right hand side, it becomes plus 3. No. Why? Because here minus 3 is joined with the y and it is in multiplication. Right? So if we transfer minus 3 to the right hand side, it goes to the denominator. Otherwise, we can also write like this. That means just transfer 3 to the right hand side. Here minus y, right? So 16 by 3. Then transfer this minus sign to right hand side. Otherwise, we can say that we change our both the side. That means we transfer our y to the right hand side, it becomes positive. So here y, and if we transfer our 16 by 3 to the right hand side, it becomes negative. So our second point is, our first point is, if we put x is equals to 0, we get y is equals to minus 16 by 3. Okay, so our first point is ready, 0 and minus 16 by 3. Now it's a time for second equation. Second point of second equation. Again 3x minus 3y is equals to 16. This time put y is equals to 0. So here 3x as it is, then minus sign, 3 into y 0 is equals to 16. 3 into 0, it's a 0, right? So we ignore it. So we get 3x is equals to 16. So we get x is equals to, if we transfer this 3 to the right hand side, so it goes to the denominator, right? So our x is equals to 16 by 3. Okay, so our x is equals to 16 by 3. If we put y is equals to 0, we get x is equals to 16 by 3. So our 2 points are ready. Okay, now put this point on the graph. So for the first equation, just remember this point, 0 minus 8 and 8 0. Okay, So here 0 minus 8, 0 minus 8, that means lies on the y axis, right? X coordinate 0, that's why. So it is lies on the y axis, minus 8 is there, so in fourth quadrant, sorry, on the negative y axis. And 8 0, now y 0, that means on the x axis, right? Join this 2 point, you will get this line. Okay, for the second line, and just extend this line and write down the equations of line here. Okay, it's a good habit. Here it is not written, but you can write. Now for the second line, we have 2 points, 0 and minus 16 by 3. Now minus 16 by 3, if we find out this 16 by 3, we can write like this in mixed fraction, right? Minus 5 integer 1 by 3. Now 1 by 3, that means 0.33, right? So alternately, this answer is 5 minus 5.33, right? So just find out here and write down 0 minus 16 by 3. Same thing on the x-axis, right? 16 by 3 means the second point, 16 by 3 and 0, 5.33 you need to consider. Otherwise, you can also take such a that type of value that gives the answer as a integer. Okay, in I think one question I do in exercise 3.1, right? Here I'm going with the intersection point of line with the axis, but you can take different value and take just that type of values, so that gives the answer as a integer number. Okay, so you can easily plot your coordinates. Okay, now obviously from this graph we can say that these two lines are parallel, right? These two lines are parallel lines. Parallel lines, that means no solution, right? So first of all, from the graph we can say that both the lines are parallel, so two lines have no solution. So following pair of linear equations are inconsistent. Okay, inconsistent. And if you confuse, that means if you are confused in the graph, that means these two lines are parallel or not, then you can go with that method, that means a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2 and c1 upon c2, right? From that you can also find these two lines are parallel. But here we need to draw the graph because it is given in the question. Okay, so